Our top story on Newspoint. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has landed in Washington, D.C. for talks with U.S. President Donald Trump at the White House. The two leaders are expected to hold talks on tariff cuts, trade, and recent deportation of Indians from the U.S. The Trump administration has complained that India has high tariffs that lock out U.S. imports. Apart from tariff cuts, Modi is expected to propose increased energy and defense imports during his visit. Now, shortly after landing in Washington, D.C., Prime Minister Modi met with newly appointed Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, and this signals the Trump administration's strategic focus on strengthening U.S.-India intelligence ties. Members of the Indian diaspora chanted Bharat Mata Ki Jai as Prime Minister Modi arrived at the Blair House, which is the U.S. President's guest house. The Indian Prime Minister expressed gratitude for the warm reception in the winter chill. Donald Trump is in the fourth week of his presidency, and officials say this is the earliest in an American president's term that an Indian Prime Minister has visited him. The Prime Minister's visit to the U.S. also comes in the wake of the recent deportation of Indian detainees that has sparked concerns in New Delhi. The two leaders have built a rapport over the years, which was built by back-to-back visits to each other's countries. And for more on this, we were earlier joined by Gaurav Sansnwa. He is a fellow for the India Chair at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. Here's what he said.
No, I think as you rightly said, diplomacy is as much about chemistry as it is about mathematics. We are all looking forward to seeing how the partnership evolves in what you rightly described as, 2.0 of the Trump-Modi era of this partnership. So I think really looking at it, trade is top of the agenda. And when we think of the trade and commercial ties between the two countries, it's important to remember India is on the trade surplus is in India's favor. So which essentially means that India is selling more to the US than it is buying. And, President Trump, who feels that he's been elected with the mandate to reduce the trade deficit, and it's an issue that he deeply cares about, is obviously looking to sell more to India. And so we may see, what may be described as some quick wins in the energy and defense sector. Particularly nuclear energy and LNG exports from the US are high on the agenda there. But having said that, this is also an opportunity from the Indian vantage point to manage the relationship early on. And that, is about a talent. Obviously, skilled Indian talent is critical to, shoring up manufacturing in the US, which is again high on President Trump's agenda. And so India is going to try and position itself as the provider of that talent and is going to look to continue that. And then secondly, it's also about technology. And India is going to look to continue the momentum it's developed in attracting semiconductor investments from the US. Amongst a host of other sectors. So trade, technology, talent, managing differences, but at the same point of time, building the relationship forward. I think that's how the two leaders would be looking at it.